we have some major breaking type 1 diabetes news. I have to be careful about what words I use here apparently, but just know that 2 more people with type 1 diabetes no longer require the use of insulin, if you know what I mean, and that word starts with a C. This brings us to a total of 5 patients with type 1 diabetes that no longer require the use of insulin. This is through Eledon Pharmaceuticals' new drug Tegoprubart. Dr. Piotr Witkowski in Chicago is leading this trial, and he just posted this a few hours ago, and he told us that of the first 3 patients, 1 of them has been insulin-free for an entire year, and then he drops a major bombshell on us. We are pleased to announce today that the 4th and 5th patients have also discontinued insulin just 1 month after their first islet transplant. You guys, this is so incredibly exciting. He says a mixed meal tolerance test performed today at Wileen showed a peak glucose of only 129 and a robust peak C-peptide level of 3.43. He says that if Tegoprubart continues to demonstrate reduced toxicity and improved graft protection compared to tacrolimus, as early results suggest, islet transplantation could become a more accessible and effective treatment option for patients with brittle type 1 diabetes. You guys, I really think he's downplaying this because we are on the earlier end of this trial. This treatment could work for any patient with type 1 diabetes, not just patients with brittle type 1 diabetes. Tegoprubart does not show any toxicities compared to tacrolimus, and on top of that, the beta cells work 2 to 3 times more effectively at pumping insulin than cells being protected by tacrolimus. That is the reason why these patients were able to go off of insulin in 1 month. You guys, that's incredibly fast. Patients that are protected by tacrolimus, that usually takes 3 to 6 plus months for their insulin levels to reach high enough levels for them to go off insulin completely. And with Tegoprubart, it happened in 1 month. I'm so grateful for Breakthrough T1D for sponsoring this trial. You guys, I gave a lot of money to Breakthrough this year, and I would like to think that every dollar I spent went directly to this trial. Dr. Witkowski announced that the total number of patients enrolled in this trial is going from 9 to 12 because of these phenomenal results that just came out today. And I have a sneaking suspicion that that number 12 is going to keep growing. Eledon Pharmaceuticals is now 5 for 5 in getting people with type 1 diabetes to no longer have type 1 diabetes, if you catch my drift. Dr. Witkowski posted this picture of one of the patients. She's going to be either the 4th or 5th patient that he's talking about. You guys, look at her face. Look how incredibly happy and amazing this moment is. If you are up late at night at 2 or 3 in the morning fighting against high or low blood sugars, just imagine her face and let that give you a lot of hope for the future, because we do have so much to be hopeful for and to be excited for. Just look at her face. Here's another picture that he posted of the same patient with his entire team. Look how incredibly happy she is, you guys. I am so happy for her. I'm so happy for all 5 patients that no longer have to deal with this horrible, horrible disease. Now, to those of you who say, well, that's great, but it's still immunosuppression, well, listen to what I have to say. Eledon's drug Tegoprubart does not globally suppress the entire immune system like tacrolimus does. Tegoprubart only prevents T and B cell activation, but it leaves other pathways in place to protect you from viruses, bacteria, and cancers that are trying to invade your body. It doesn't take everything out. Tacrolimus, it does globally suppress everything across the board. And so far in these first 5 patients, we haven't had any reports of toxicities or diseases or cancers popping up. None of that has happened, you guys. And remember that Eledon is doing a huge kidney replacement trial using the same drug that is going phenomenally well as well. And they will be releasing their phase 2 top-line results the first week of November, coming up in a couple months. So far, the patients in that trial are showing GFRs, which is a glomerular filtration rate of the kidney, which tells you how well the kidney is working. It's in the high 60s, low 70s. In some cases, we're seeing numbers up into the 90s. Kidneys protected by tacrolimus, on the other hand, have an average GFR right around 50 to 55. So you can see that tacrolimus does a really bad job at allowing the grafts that it protects to function to their full potential. They just can't reach their full potential. But with Tegoprubart, they can. That's why these beta cells are working 2 to 3 times more effectively than a tacrobeta cell, and that's why the kidneys are working way better on Tegoprubart than tacrolimus. Not to mention the fact that with Tegoprubart, you're not having any terrible side effects. With tacrolimus, you have nephrotoxicity, neurotoxicity, hypertension, and diabetes, type 2 diabetes. Over time, those things can happen if you're on it for long enough. And eventually, the graft fails for most people with tacrolimus. Eventually. Eledon's big goal is to have 1 kidney per patient per lifetime. Think about what that means for beta cells, you guys. These people may not ever need to receive another islet cell transplantation ever again. This is extremely exciting. I'm going to end this video on this picture because I think it's one of my favorite pictures in the world. You guys, the very next thing she's probably going to do is go rip off her CGM because she doesn't need it anymore. Make sure you follow me here for all the updates regarding this trial and all the other exciting trials, the Vertex trial, and also the Santa trial. You will get all the updates here. Follow my Facebook page, Crushing T1. We have over 12,000 people from all over the world in that group, and both of these groups are growing very fast. Thanks for all your support, you guys. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more updates.